Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to be making some power steering lines. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the post notification bell to stay up to date with this build. Right, let's get into it. Alright guys, as you can see, the engine is still in the background. I haven't gone back to work yet, so I haven't really been able to do anything with the engine, like taking it to an engine shop or anything like that, because I've been in isolation for the last 2 weeks. But tomorrow I get to go to work and I got parts sitting there waiting for me, which is the power steering lines. So they are AN lines, and I got the fittings and adapters and everything to do the power steering lines. So we need to clean up this mess of the carbon fiber, and we'll clean up the engine bay as well, and we'll make these lines. So first up, we'll do the cleanup. Also here I've printed off some workshop manual, because we need to do some wiring as well. That'll be in an upcoming video shortly, hopefully. Alright boys, so I'm just going to clean up this area of the engine bay for now. And tomorrow night we'll come in and do the lines for the power steering. I will only not do one of them. I'll finish that one off once the engine is back in. So that is the one that comes up and has the banjo that goes on top of the pump. So that is this one here. Yeah. And this place is a mess. Also, I don't think I mentioned that I bought some micrometers. They're all external ones. So I just purchased a bore one, so they can do from 50mm to, I think it's 300. I don't know, it's got all these different attachments. Anyway, it's got a gauge on it. Should be good. So hopefully that'll be here next week, so we can measure the block and see if I actually need to take it to a machine shop to bore it out a little bit more, so it's all even. So it's not oval, so it's all rounded. Need to clean up here too, get rid of some of that crap. And I've got to get my wheel back on, still haven't got my wheel back on. Then I'll get my red tub under there while I'm cleaning to catch all the crap. Alright, so I just moved some of these vacuum lines, boost lines, gauges, temperature gauges out of the way. Might be able to see this one. I actually extended this, so this will be getting stripped back and fixed. I did a pretty bad job. Anyway, yeah, so we probably won't be needing this anymore. If you know what that is, you probably know what's going on. I'll probably replace that. That's dead. I did mention that I've got an expansion tank that's going over here, so this bracket's going to have to go. I'm going to have to relocate the boost solenoid and the exhaust cutout solenoid, so I'll find somewhere for that. And I wouldn't mind seeing how close I can get the turbo in this area. So we'll need to clean up and tuck this loom, so I'll probably end up getting rid of this conduit and just using that material tape. I ordered some of that today as well, so that should clean up everything So before I mentioned that I just printed off a whole bunch of sheets from workshop manual. It was a lot of the wiring. It was all wiring, so I know where this plug goes to. I know it runs through that loom and where it goes to on the ECU and everything like that. So I can strip it down to things I don't need anymore on these looms. And you can see looks like I did a dodgy there too. I don't know, maybe I stripped that back because I think that was in there. Yeah, it was in there. Anyway, I'm going to be cleaning up the wiring, and also on the engine harness I'm going to be cleaning up too. So yeah, and hopefully it'll look nice. I don't know if I'll be painting it though. I should, but if I've still got heaps of time before I can get the engine back together and stuff like that, why not? So it's good clean first. So stop talking, let's do it. Alright, so I've been using the air washing gun. I've got degreaser in it and I've got boiling water, so steam cleaning pretty much. So it's looking a bit better. I'm going to give it a bit of a scrub and quick going over. Got right up into this area. We'll probably have to shoot some compressed air around some of the electrical terminals. But it's looking better. Did do a little bit over here, but not much. Yeah. Alright boys, I think I'm done with the pressure wash. I'm going to give it a wipe down with some rags and see how it comes up. Alright guys, all cleaned up. Doesn't look the best. There's a lot of scratching going on from rubbing and taking the engine in and out so many times. And at least it's clean, so if there are any leaks, I can see where they're coming from. Still got a lot of work to do with neatening up this bunch coming out of here, but we'll skip to tomorrow when we get the lines in. Alrighty guys, it's the next day and we have everything that we need to make the power steering lines. We've got the -6 line, so that's 2 meters there. I'm going silver with the power steering and black with the fittings. So just with the power steering, so nothing else will have the silver ones except for power steering. So I've got a 90 and 3 straights. Then we've got the what are they called? Bump tubes. So they go into the power steering rack. The banjo, and we've got the barb 268N, which I already had. That'll go into the hose from the reservoir. So yeah, let's start putting it all together. It shouldn't take too long. Alright guys, so ProFlow are pieces that go into the power steering and into the reservoir and into the pump, and then these are just for the hoses. Yeah, couldn't find them all in the same brand or the same color, so I decided to go all silver and then all black. Should look good, hopefully. This will make it a lot easier also getting the power steering off or getting the engine out. I can just unhook it from here and keep the banjo on, so we don't have to worry about those the copper washers all the time and replacing them. So we'll get these bump tubes. So they do have an O-ring at the end here and at the end here. So we'll get them into the steering rack, down there. Alright boys, so we have the fittings in the steering rack. Now we've got to get this one to have a 90, this one just to have a straight. Alrighty, so something like that. So they're going to run pretty close together. I'm going to bring them up and along the rail here. So as you can see, I've taken off the bracket for the reservoir. So we need to get that back on, and we need to get the reservoir back on. So we also need to cut one of the hoses on the reservoir. Alright boys, so I've got the reservoir here. This big one I'm going to kick on this little S-bend here. I'm actually going to cut it right about here. And we've got this barb to go on. Alright, there we have it. Got the adapter to the 6AN. So now we need to put the straight fitting on there. Then we'll work out our hose. Alright, so I just ended up taking that big one off there and just capping it off with some tape. I'm masking off with some tape because it was all out here where we're going to be working. So yeah, I'll take off these ends. There's a little pill in there. It'll go into the hose, so just got to be careful. I haven't used this type of fitting before. I don't think I've said it yet, but this is the Teflon braided. So 200 series Teflon braided. So it should withhold, I think, 1000 psi or 2000 psi. I can't remember, but it's enough to do power steering. So it was able to do power steering and other high, like aircon and stuff like that. So, and with the Teflon inner, we won't have the smell either. So I'll probably end up running this for my fuel. Not sure just yet. Haven't looked into my fuel lines yet. Oops. Alright guys, so I'm going to fit the straight one onto the end and do it all properly, so then we can get the length, and we can just push it all the way onto here so we can get the correct length onto here, and we'll chop it. So making it properly, we can see how the line will allow it to bend. Being Teflon inner, it's not that flexible, so we want to try to keep it close up here. Alright, that fitting is on. I don't know why I haven't been using these fittings. It is so much easier. I'll show you on the next one. But yeah, I'm sure you've seen how it works. So much simpler than like the cutter style. I guess I've cut it to length. Show you how easy it is to fit these fittings. Alright, so you put the collar on there. That's what it's called. Yeah. You get this pill. This goes on the outside. Yeah. There we go. So once you get it started, just use a hard surface. I'm using the crane just like that. Just going to push it down. As you can see in there that it's gone all the way up onto the Teflon. You get this piece that goes inside the Teflon. Once again, use a hard surface. I'll push down onto that. There we go. And just get this sucker on onto the thread and thread it all the way. Simples. Alright, there is the first line. So with the second line, I'm only doing that end. So we're going to have a whole bunch of hose line up here until the engine comes back in. We can do it to the right length. So let's get this off. We'll stick this on to the end that we just cut. Now this one, because this end is capped already from new, so should be all good. Alright guys, so we have the 9 degrees in there, and it follows the other one pretty well. I do have a cable tie that I'm going to put into this hole here that no longer is used, that was for the airbox. So I'm going to put that in there, and hopefully it sticks all the way in. It stays there, yeah. Then I'm going to get the lines to run on either side of that, and we're going to tie them together. So we're going to sit down a bit lower. Yeah. It's just kind of like what I've done here, but it's anchored. So it sits on the rail. Alright, so that's how I've done it. So cable tie around, but within the grey one. And then pull it tight, and it sits down nice and low. This one goes down there, this one will come up and over this way. Have to get it twisted this way. Anyway, we'll get that sorted once the engine is back in. And just before it goes in, I'll take this off, or might even be able to get to it while it's in. I'll probably end up needing some heat sheath or something on these, because it may get close to the up pipe, but at least now it's all tucked down and not up this way, because I'm looking at having some hot pipes this way, so probably have to deal with this next. So we'll probably end up getting that down onto the rail as well. So yeah, pretty much done the new power steering lines. Just need to do another straight and the banjo onto the actual pump itself, but like I said, can't do that until the engine's back in, and I don't know when the engine's going back in, so that'll be just included in another episode once it's in. And obviously this line will go back on, and yeah, we're gonna have to bleed it as well. These lines here aren't tight. Yes, they are. They are tight. Yeah, just a lot better. I can push that down a little bit more if I want. So we do have a little bit of flex in this hose. Sweet. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this episode. So we've got a bit of cleaning done, and we've got some lines made, or 1.5 lines. But yeah, I'm definitely using those fittings again. That was so easy. I could nearly do the whole thing by hand. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell to stay up to date with this build. It's going to be 2 turbos in here, boys. 2 turbos. Thanks for watching. Bye.